Welcome, everybody, to the Let Purple Rain podcast. Please like and subscribe. This is the Diary of a Draftman, Scott Fish, Tadpole Bowl mock draft number 1. We are getting off to a good start today, guys. I am your host, Joe Arpasi, otherwise known as Purple Rain. I started my CFF work in 2008. Then after stepping away for 8 years, I returned in 2024 as Purple Rain. You can follow me on X on the handle that you see on the screen, and you can find all of my content at letpurplerain.com. I'm just going to go through a couple of quick announcements here at the start. My 2025 CFF Draft Guide. It is out now. This is the biggest draft guide I've ever done going back to my start in CFF in 2008. I have 76 pages of CFF info, which includes my keys to fantasy success, coaching systems and scheduling information, player spotlights, player rankings for FBS, Power 4, and G5. I've also included player rankings for Underdog Fantasy and the Scott Fish Tadpole Bowl. I also have draft strategy analysis articles, breakdowns for each one of these formats that I have player rankings for. I include 974 player projections and Fantrax player upload files. This allows you to take my player rankings and directly upload them into your Fantrax leads. I think this is a must-have draft guide for 2025, guys. And I'm really excited to bring you guys this special promotional event that I'm hosting here. So once again, go ahead and check this out. Do you love college football? Do you love fantasy football? My name is Joe Arpasi, and I have just the thing for you. I'm the man behind LetPurpleRain.com, your premier college fantasy football resource. And I'm hosting a 52-man college fantasy football league. New world order. The winner of my league is going to take home this custom championship belt provided by this league's sponsor, armchampionshipbelts.com. If you want a chance to compete for this bad boy, go to letpurplerain.com and sign up to be a premium subscriber today. All premium subscribers are automatically entered into the drawing to see who makes this league. And I'm going to be running drawings from March all the way through July. That means the longer that you're a premium subscriber, the more chances you have to be entered into this 52-man challenge. Let me tell you something, brother. Winning this belt's not going to be easy. You're going to have to contend with the new world order of college fantasy football. You're not only going to be competing against me, you're going to be competing against Eric Froton from NBC Sports and FantasyPoints.com, Jared Palmgren from Chasing the Natty Podcast and CampusToCanton.com, and John McKechnie from RotoWire.com. So go sign up today to become a premium subscriber at LetPurpleRain.com so you have a chance to get a golden ticket to the show. You're not going to want to miss out on a chance to win this baby because this belt is just too sweet! All right, guys, I once again am so excited to be hosting the 2025 Battle for the Belt 52-man league challenge. Special thanks to Arm Championship Belts once again for being this league's event sponsor. I'm going to be doing my 6th of 7 golden ticket giveaways live here on YouTube on Wednesday, July 2nd. If you aren't already a premium subscriber, sign up now so you'll automatically be entered into one of these last 2 golden ticket giveaways. If you are selected to enter this league, please check your email. I am sending out the league invites. It's coming through Fantrax, but I'm also sending out emails directly from my website. I want to double up and make sure that everybody gets their golden ticket and that they do cash it in and claim their team. I do still have several players that have not claimed their golden tickets yet. And transitioning over to today's show, as I said, this is the Diary of a Draftman mock draft series. In these episodes, I'll be conducting live mock drafts where I'm giving you an immersive experience into my mind as I draft my fantasy football teams. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Scott Fish Tadpole Bowl mock draft number 1, hosted by myself. YouTube is going to be the home of the preview show where I'm going to cover the first 5 rounds of the draft as it unfolds. LetPurpleRain.com will be the exclusive home to the main show. That's where I'm going to be covering rounds 6 through, and I have a typo in my script. I believe it's 24 rounds here for this one. And as the draft ensues, I'm going to be explaining my thought process as I'm drafting my team. You're going to be able to see my player queue, and as I'm providing kind of my insights on who I'm looking at drafting. And, once the underdog fantasy drafts get opened up, I'm also going to be doing those here in July. So we're all just kind of waiting in anticipation for those to start. But while we're waiting, we're jumping into the Tadpole Bowl. And on today's show, I am going to be using my Power 4 Tadpole Bowl draft strategy that I have included in my draft guide for these first 5 rounds. I think the wide receiver position is a little bit more of a premium early in the draft. So I am going a little more wide receiver heavy than I do in some of my other strategies. I'm going to be doing in the first 2 rounds, looking at 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and in rounds 3 through 5, I'm going to have a balanced spread of 1 quarterback, running back, and receiver. These top end wide receivers in the first 3 tiers of my rankings, we have far more quarterbacks than and running backs than receivers. So I will likely be looking wide receiver with my first pick. And then when I hit round 3, I probably will be going right back to wide receiver again. Tune into the main show to see how the rest of this strategy plays out. Now that I got that out of the way, let's dive into some college fantasy football. We are sitting here with this draft just about to start. It's in under a minute here. I don't remember my exact draft position. I believe I'm drafting 10th or 11th. Depending on how quick the turnaround goes after my pick in round 5, I might just give you guys here on the preview show a bonus pick of number 6, because I do have to do my little wrap up, end this recording, start the recording for the main show before I can come back in and jump back into the actual draft itself. So if it's really tight, I might just give you guys the extra bonus pick of the 6th round before I try doing that. I don't want to make it too hard on myself and make it and also not let you guys hear really my commentary as we're starting to go. The draft is now underway. As I mentioned, I'm really leaning wide receiver. So I'm going to switch this queue over to wide receiver just so I got these top guys on here. And the top 6 options that you see here on the board, this is Power 4 only. So we're going to see, you're going to see some guys going a lot earlier than you normally do. But, and the scoring is a bit different. So my player rankings are different here for the Tadpole Bowl than you see for my normal half PPR. And I'm really going to be hoping to land one of these top 6 guys with my first pick. If I have to, I have no problem going all the way down to Chase Sowell here at the number 8 spot. I'm also just double checking how the camera and everything's looking. I think I got all of our technical issues that we had in previous episodes wrapped up. Kind of by no surprise, we got Reed from Pittsburgh going number 1. We do have RotoWire in the house today, drafting in the number 2 spot. Kind of keep myself resituated here. And as you guys know, I like to have my golden treats. I got my Washington koozie on today. I like to play music and rock out in the main show. I can't do that here on the preview show just because I'm going to get copyright strikes. But I am sporting a Metallica shirt for today's show. We'll definitely be rocking out as soon as we get over onto letpurplerain.com for the main show. And it's going to be interesting. We don't have a lot of people who've done mock drafts for the Tadpole Bowl yet. So I think the further this goes on, the more people will kind of reach a little bit, not sure what direction to go in. Because most of us, when we do our mock drafts, we do all FBS. This is the very first Tadpole Bowl mock draft I've done here. So this is going to be, I think for everybody's a learning experience, but that's why we're doing these. That's why I'm giving you these episodes. The Diary of a Draftman episode that comes out later this week is also going to be a Tadpole Bowl. That draft is going to be hosted by Jared Palmgren, my friend over at Chasing the Natty podcast. So I'm giving you guys 2 Tadpole Bowl episodes this week to get you guys ready. I know some of you guys are going to have those drafts coming up sooner than later, so I wanted to get that content out for you here. And looks like we might potentially have an auto draft pick. Nope. Okay. I'm not seeing him in the draft room, but that is definitely not an auto draft pick. Unless someone's just pulling up my rankings and they're using that instead of the Fantrax ones. So 4 picks in. It is moving a little slower than normal. And I'll say this, guys. I think especially as this draft gets deeper, don't be surprised if you're going to see a lot of these drafters using their full clock. Like I said, I just think a lot of players, a lot of fantasy owners have not had to go this deep into Power 4 yet. So these early rounds, I expect to move quicker, and then it'll kind of draw out as it goes along. Hopefully here, Cambodian Milk, we are going to get a good pick for him and not a auto pick. We're about 10 seconds away. It was an auto pick, but it was a good pick. We're getting lucky so far tonight, guys. Um, Looks like we got a lot of other guys here that are in the room. I do believe Rebel Nut, who is showing on the screen, is going to show up later, but he does have his auto draft set up. So we've got 2 wide receivers that have gone. I'm here at the 11th spot, so I know I'm going to be able to get one of these top 3 guys, Coleman, McAllister, or Ryan Williams. It's going to be a matter of just seeing which one falls to me, and then it's going to be turning over to going running back right after that. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to take that back. So I can have either 3 of those guys. I'd be happy with Coleman, McAllister, or Ryan Williams. So I'm going to just wait on that. I'm going to take Hankerson here because I definitely think he's the best running back that we got on the board, hands down. So we can still get one of these top wide receivers that we want, but we're definitely going to get a better running back here. Dynasty Pros may not be in the room. Hopefully we're going to see a good auto pick, not a bad auto pick this time. Go 3 for 3. And then hopefully for these guys that peers are not in the room, it's going to speed up a little bit here. Once we get to their second picks, we'll see how this goes. I don't want to fiddle with the draft too much. I'd rather like to try and keep it going, but if we have to, we'll just see what happens here. So as I was saying, we know that we're going to go Coleman, McAllister, and Williams. Then we're going to have the long wait back to round 3, and that's going to start that next batch of 1 quarterback, 1 running back, wide receiver. And that's where I really will probably be leaning once again. Looking wide receiver first, and then if I like at least 3 options that are there, I might hold off and go back to quarterback and running back. So we got Claiborne here. So luckily, we're not getting any of these bad auto picks. Unfortunately, it's just taking up a lot of time. I'm going to ask you guys to excuse me while I pull this up on the screen. Okay, it is showing that. So it should hopefully do this auto pick. I don't want to touch it and fiddle with anything. But unfortunately, it's just taking, like Dynasty Pros here, for a second pick. It's just, looks like we're going to have to wait for the whole clock again. But that gives me time to finish this beer before we get either Cam Coleman or Eric McAllister. Get that next Steve Weiser ready to go. All right, so we got Cam Coleman. I'm just going to switch over to all players here, so we can just kind of watch everyone going through. And for those of you that are new to the Fantrax player upload files that I have in my draft guide, that's exactly what I've used to load up my rankings here, and I load up my queue in that order. What I do with each tier is I just put them in order of quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end. Then at that point, I'm going to you'll skip to the next tier and go the same way. So I don't have them like all positions ranked together. I keep those tiers together and then kind of break them down that way. And we did see a big run of wide receivers and some quarterbacks go. So this next tier of what's available is really starting to shrink down here. If I go to all players, one thing that you can tell if you're trying to read tiers, you can look at underneath the logo of each player, you're going to see the overall rank number. So you can kind of view as you go down, you'll see where it'll start to jump at times. So if I go over and just go to quarterback, the rank's on the far left now. So we can see with like Haynes King is maybe running back's the best one. So we got Dylan Smothers and Nick Singleton. We see them with their rank is 8 and 9, and then it jumps down to 26 for Wisner. That's a way that you can kind of tell where these tier rankings are as you scroll through. So as I'm going to keep going, we see here's another one. Gaz has a rank of 32, and then it jumps down to Martin have a rank 48. That's one way. What I figured out is the best way to read the difference of the tiers with how these things can get loaded up into Fantrax. So just wanted to kind of cover that here. Go back over to our queue while we're waiting for everything to circle back around. And I'm going to be honest with you here, guys. I don't know. I'm not going to try and play the ADP game very much in this one. I'm just going to take the best guys that I like. Because one of the problems with ADP that we see is that they're based off of all FBS drafts. It's not going to apply directly here to a Power 4 or a Group of 5 draft. And I'm going to take the same approach I would take if I was drafting with other analysts, is you can try and get too cute playing the ADP game and miss out on a lot of guys. And instead, sometimes the best approach is to just, like, if you're going to play the waiting game, you play it for one round and that's it. So if I was looking at getting Smothers as my next pick, I could sit there when it gets to my pick in round 3 and say, okay, I think he might slide to me, but I have to take him the next round. You're going to target the guys that you really want, and then you're going to stick to them. A guy like Smothers is someone right now in an all FBS draft I will let slide for several rounds before I go to actually look at selecting him. We're here in this Power 4 format, and just the way that this day is going to go, guys, I'm just taking get the guys I want, and if I'm going to wait, I'm just making a rule. I'm going to wait one round, that's it, and locking into it. And quarterbacks is something I'll tell you guys as well. Right now, we're playing with, this draft is happening with CFF owners that they're more in tune to what's going on. They listen to analysts like myself and the other great people out there in the CFF community, and I think they're going to make more educated picks. But when you get into your Tadpole Bowl drafts, you're going to have a lot of people that are completely brand new to CFF. And two things I guarantee you that you'll see that will be different than any of these mock drafts that I'm going to be airing for you guys for the Tadpole Bowl is that you're going to see quarterbacks go earlier than you expect. Excuse me. You see quarterbacks go earlier than you expect, and you're going to see a lot more of these big name players from big programs go, even though they might not be the best fantasy option. So Drew Allar from Penn State, I guarantee you are going to see him go way too high in these Tadpole Bowl drafts because the exposure that an NFL player, fantasy player has, and they're first coming down to college, it's going to be the players that everybody talks about in the mainstream media, not what the CFF community is talking about. So that will be an advantage, but you need to know, like, those quarterbacks are going to go earlier. And so, like, here, as I'm watching this unfold, it's like, I may have to think quarterback, wide receiver here in round 3, 4. Let's just kind of look over at just who our guys are. I want to look at our receivers. Because like I said, that is kind of my main area I want to focus on. And for me, if I'm looking at this group of 5 guys I really want to keep in mind, I'm looking at Caden Lee, Dane Key, Devin Boston, Cameron, and Bell. Those top 5 are really the ones I want to be able to hang my hat on. One thing we're going to do real quick here. Oh, yeah, we don't have I do have to scroll. Sorry. Bye week 6 and 12 at receiver. So if I go, and I'm going to go to the wide receivers here so we can see the bye weeks. Caden Lee does have a 6. Dane Key does have a 12. They would go down a little more toward the bottom of this list. So I would put them below Chris Bell and even Aaron Anderson. I mean, we can keep him in here as a possibility, but you don't want to have your top 2 receivers sharing a bye week. So I'm going to keep those bye weeks in mind. I don't think we really have to worry about it too much. at the quarterback position because we don't have one. Um, King and Mateer are the top two guys that stand out hands down. I right now, because I see less options there, I would be looking to go quarterback before going back to over to receiver. In a lot of this, I really feel like as I'm comparing guys that might be in a similar area, I think you have to draft off of scarcity. We can peek over at running back, which I mean I'm going to admit here, Smothers is a guy once again you could probably wait on, but Wisner, Durham are two other guys. So I doubt both will make it all the way down, but if we're just looking at pure, um, I'm brain farting the word, guys, so bear with me. What we have the least amount of guys at that I feel good with in this range, quarterback, quarterback would be the least available, running back, and then wide receiver. Um, Swap this beer out as we're continuing to wait back over to our end, but I'm gonna keep an eye on these running backs. We know quarterback is going to go early. Um, and once we hit round 6 through 10, we are going to get one more quarterback. So it does give us the option if we want that we can wait until round 5 and double tap quarterback there and build up our stable. Um, I just love, like a guy like Haynes King, I just feel like if he's there, I want to take him for the stability. Because everyone else, I don't think, if we split back over to quarterback here, Mateer, we don't know with that schedule and everything how well it's going to turn out. Maava, Mendoza, like the next best solid guys that I see here that I would really hang my hat on would be Levitt, Robertson, Pavia, Johnson, and I'd be willing to wait there. So we're definitely seeing those running backs go pretty hard. So the main guys that we were looking at have gone. So I'm going to keep our eye on Haynes King. If he's there, I feel like we are locked and loaded. We have to take him. And then we're just going to be comparing kind of wide receivers and running back at that point. If King is taken, Smothers, Smothers is one of those we could wait one round, but we're not going to draft another quarterback. Or excuse me, we're not going to draft another running back here in the 4th round. So I think we would have to be locked into taking him. And then at wide receiver, I still like a lot of these guys that we have here. I'm willing to wait on that. So we got Haynes King. I'm going to take our solid guy at this point. Look back over at running back. This is where we could roll the dice. I do like a lot of these guys that are down here. Smother stands out the most in the rankings. And I like people's pretty dang close. Those two guys, even though they're a little bit of projection plays, I kind of like where they're at. I might be willing to wait a little more. I mentioned Cameron Bell and Cameron and Bell are the two guys that we would not be sharing a bye week at receiver. Um, I want to look at exactly where I have them ranked since we do have some time here. How big of a difference. And they are in a tier down from where we have Lee and Key. So we could roll the dice here. Go with Caden Lee. Smothers is the hands down highest rated guy I have, though. And running backs are going to freaking go. But as I said, I think that just these wide receivers are going to clear out really, really fast and hard in these first 3 tiers. That was my original assessment. I want to kind of stick to prioritizing that because, sometimes it's just you start getting in fancy and cute and you want to go too many other options. So I'm just going to look here. I'm going to say I'm going to bite the bullet on the bye week. I'm going to have a shared bye week. I'm just going to have to make sure I'm avoiding that hard afterwards. And we're just going to take the best of Caden Lee and Dane Key. They're the top two, the best in this tier. And we're going to start to see that this is going to really dry up now. Because it is the last of, I think, tier 3 maybe. And that's what we really want to try and make sure that we're landing. So, all right, I'm going to go Caden Lee here. we are locked into a running back for this last pick. If Smothers is there, we have to take him. I'm going to say that right up front, guys. If Smothers is there, we have to take him. And considering that how I've been seeing Dynasty Pros, the timing of him on that last pick, I'm just going to give everybody here on YouTube, I'm going to give you guys that one extra pick. I'm going to give you 6 picks before I transition out of this to the main show. So I'll talk out this 6th pick as well. Round 6 through 10, what we're going to be looking at drafting is 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, a wide receiver, and a tight end. And the tight end position I think is going to be tricky. I'm really going to be playing that by ear, and that might be one of those where I want to get ahead of the curve. Because there's not a lot of guys there in tiers 2 through 4. So as I'm looking at this, I really like this running back crop that you see on the screen. I'm going to see who we have below Haynes from Georgia Tech. I feel a lot less confident about the guys below there. So running back might be worth the double tap. If these top 7 guys, if we can land 2 of the top 7, which is Smothers from NC State, Peoples from Ohio State, Goss from North Carolina, Martin from BYU, Miller from Bama, and Moss from Texas A&M. And I'll even take that back. Haynes from Georgia Tech, Moulton from Iowa, and Allen from Penn State. That's really kind of where I feel like the drop-off will start to occur. If we can land 2 of those top 9 guys, I think we kind of just have to double tap running back here. Because we go back over to receiver. This well will dry up. And in my opinion, as soon as Aaron Anderson is gone, those top 4 guys are gone. I feel like that's where that big drop-off is, which is why we committed to getting wide receiver last time. So I'd be willing to wait a little bit. And I think some people will go after some of these guys that we see a little further down in my rankings, like DeCorian Moore, Wingo, Tate. But like I've got someone like Kevin Green right now as the number 13 wide receiver in these rankings. So it's like, this well will dry up pretty quick. And quarterback, like I mentioned, we have some stable options here. It might be worth going back to quarterback a little earlier to try and land someone. So right now, what I'm kind of leaning toward is 100% we're going to go running back. There goes my boy Smothers off the board. But like running back, we got 7 guys left. We may not be able to land 2 of them. If they're all gone, if we can land we have to take a running back no matter what here in round 5. But if I can get 2 of these top 7, I'm going to lock into that no matter what. If I can only get 1 running, if I can't get any of those top 7 with my 6th round pick, I'm going to see if Key from Nebraska, Cameron from Baylor, Bell from Louisville, or Anderson from LSU are still available. If they are, I feel obligated to take one of them. And to be honest, I would probably also dip all the way down to Moore at Oregon or Wingo at Texas. I think that would be my second option if the running back well dried up. And then I think we'll just wait on quarterback until it comes back around to us on the 7th round. So just kind of laying out our plan here for the next 2 draft picks. We're going to see how this goes. I'm a big fan of Peoples. I don't know why he slides so much in drafts, guys, but please keep letting me take him. Gauze is someone I love because I love the scheduling there. I would love to land one of those 2. We're just going to have to see how this plays out. And it's going to be a little interesting how the quarterbacks go. Because like I said, they're going to go kind of early, and then that spells the well's going to dry a little bit. And my draft strategy on this one is like once you hit round 3, in each of these rounds I break up, like we're just going to snag 1 quarterback. So rounds 3 through 5, we got 1. Rounds 6 through 10, we're going to grab 1. Rounds 11 through 15, we're going to grab 1. We're not going to go super heavy. I have it where it's spread out so that way we're not missing too much in other areas. And tight end is one of those areas I think is going to be really high priority, which is why I have us getting 2 of the 3 tight ends that I'm recommending, grabbing them in rounds 6 through 15 and not waiting too long. I want to be more aggressive at that tight end position, which we can also just go peek at right now and see everyone's still on the board. But for me, I would say like I want at least one of these top 7 that are on the board right now, going all the way down to Fleming. E. Winston is the placeholder that I'm using for Jack Endries. But I want at least one of those top 7. So that's another thing that we'll just keep an eye on. If a tight end run starts, that will interrupt whatever strategy we have going on to guarantee we get one of these top 7 guys, because I feel like once you start getting further down, it becomes a lot more speculative. So once again, as we're looking at running back here, we got 6 of our guys that are still remaining. Deuce Adams, that was not the best. I don't know if that was meant to be that way for an auto pick. We'll find out here. Our wide receivers, we got about 8 of them left. And we're getting around to us, so we might be able to double tap running back here. Or we might just play this as a more balanced build. Okay, I think I can't take Key here. I don't think so. Right now I have 2 week 6 buys, and Key, oh, he is not. And it's up on us. So I just feel obligated. We have to take Key. He's the highest rated wide receiver. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I just broke my strategy there. We would have gotten him, and unfortunately, we're getting some bag auto drafts right now. So I'm going back here to running back. I'm going to take my guy, James Peoples. And I'm going to switch us over here now and just kind of work our way out here on the show. And just, thank you for watching the Diary of a Draftman, Scott Fish Tadpole Bowl, mock draft number 1 preview show. That is a mouthful. Here on the Let Purple Rain podcast. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Head over to letpurplerain.com to watch the rest of this draft. The link is in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, check out the rest of my mock draft shows. You're going to find a link at the end as well. Thanks for joining the Let Purple Rain podcast. Your CFF reign starts here.